about Job, you have to realize Job did not have the book of Job to read. He did not know there was a conversation about it. All he knows is he's walking up right before God and all of his children get killed. His house get knocked down. All of his animals are taken from him. There's sicknesses on his bones. He don't know the conversation. He don't know that the reason why he's in this situation is because God brought his name up. Come on a little deeper. Come on a little deeper in God. Come a little bit deeper than your Sunday school lesson and your little songs from Vacation Bible School. Come on, see this other side of God. That his ways is higher than our ways and his thoughts are greater than our comprehension. Why did you bring my name up? Where you being, Satan? I've been going around seeing who I can take down. God says, have you considered Job? What? Where is God? Martha comes out to Jesus. Mary stays in the house. But Martha comes out and says, Jesus! Excuse me, Bishop Jesus. Come on, man, y'all be reading the scripture, King James verse. If thou would have shown up. That is not how she said it. Is that how your mama would have said it? Is that how you would have said it when somebody showed up 4 days later? Somebody be 10 minutes late, but your money, you don't act like that. So come on, don't talk about 4 days. Hey, Julie, I just wanted to make sure you didn't forget me. That's her Peggy right there. I just wanted to... No, it's Friday. I hope you didn't forget me. She comes out and says, Jesus, where were you? If you would have been here, if you would have showed up, my brother would not have died. Jesus was looking at her. But she's like, even though I'm frustrated and emotional right now, but I've been with you. I done seen you do some stuff. And even though you did not show up when I thought you should have showed up, I still believe that if you want to, you can still turn this thing around. Even though the deadline has come and gone, I believe I got that kind of faith. Jesus wept. Now, when we read that scripture, we say, oh, look how Jesus started crying. Jesus did not cry because Lazarus was dead. He did not. That is not why, because Jesus is God in the flesh. His flesh did weep, but his flesh wept not because Lazarus is dead. He cried because of their unbelief. He cried because he already told them this sickness is not unto. He already told them that. But evidently somebody didn't believe what he said. He said, roll that stone away. Then God starts telling us what to do to get out. Then we're like, no. What do you, He's thinking right about that. He said, then God said, you want me to bring him out, don't you? You got to do what's practical. You got to do what's natural so I can do what's supernatural. Roll the stone away. The Bible says they rolled the stone away. Lazarus! I could imagine the mourners are looking at him and said, this Jesus man is crazy. Lazarus! Come forth! He was standing around watching what's happening. And all of a sudden we hear, Lazarus! Oh, get out of here. I know you're in a dark place. And I know you thought I was going to show up, but I did it for my glory. Come forth. Lazarus! I know you thought I was going to come on the first and second day. And all of a sudden, the skin worms are beginning to eat at your body. But come forth. Let me ask you a question. If a dead man can respond to God, what's wrong with you? If a dead man can hear God, what's wrong with you? I got to finish the call. I tell you, look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, I just found out that my situation is not so bad that God can't burn me out. Leave it alone. Some of you are in a financial turmoil right now. And you said it would take a whole lot of money for me to come out. It was going to take 40, 50 years for me to pay this stuff off. But the Lord said, not so. You're asking for the wrong thing. You keep on asking God for money. Money ain't what you need. You need the debt to be canceled. That's what you need. You need God to bring you out. You need God to let you be in it long enough, David, that you can learn the lesson, that you can learn what he's trying to speak to you in it. So when you get that lesson, you say, God, I'm ready now. I've been doing my part. I'm ready. And I'm ready for you to flip this thing inside out. Wait till the fourth day. The fourth day, Jews believed that it took at least 3 days for the spirit to leave the body. So Jesus waited long enough that people expected if Lazarus could have came out, he never really can't come out because it's too late. I want to ask you a question. When Lazarus was going through all of that, where was God? I'm going to tell you where God was. God was standing in a city miles away, healing a woman with an issue of blood, while at the same time holding Lazarus' hand at his bedside while he was taking his last breath. At the same time, down in the tomb with him while he laying there waiting for him to show up. That's where God was. Somebody asked the question, if God be God, here on the anniversary of September 11th, where was God? I'm going to tell you where God was. God was standing in the middle of the plain while the Muslim terrorists was driving it into the Twin Towers, telling the believers, get ready, you get ready to go home. Where was God? He was standing in the staircase while people were running around. Where was God? He was standing on the sidewalk catching people when they were falling down. Where was God? He was wiping the face of a little boy that just found out his mama wasn't coming home. Where was God? Tell somebody, he was there all the time. He was there. Tell somebody he was there all the time. He was there all the time. He was there all the time. In your worst situations, where you can't feel him, when you can't trace him, you see no evidence of God on your side, I want you to know God is there. God is there. He says, lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the world. Just recognize it. Just recognize it. I'm here right now. God, where were you at when I lost my mother? Where were you? God said, I was there. The Bible said every tear that fell from your eyes, he caught those tears. God, why did you stand on the side of a bed while somebody molested me? How were you there? Why did you not save me? Why did you keep me from being raped? Why did you let a child go hungry? Where was God? He was there. And although as a preacher that have read all 66 books of the Bible, after being a preacher that know what it is to shut in and pray all weekend and fast, after being a preacher that prophesies and the Lord speaks to me and I tell people stuff about their lives that know there's no way I could have known unless the Lord told me, after being a preacher that has dreams and visions, after all of that and all the stuff that I know about God, there's a whole lot about God I don't understand. But when I look over my life, after everything I've been through, I've learned that even though I don't understand, I can still trust Him. Even though I don't understand Him always, I still love Him. But I realize that all things work together. Even the suffering that people have had to go through, God let them die. Those children in the daycare that died on 9/11. You can imagine, why would God allow them to die? They did nothing. But all you're thinking about in your mindset, in your limited mindset, is the suffering they went through. But the suffering they went through, in comparison to the glory they walked into, there is no comparison. That family member that you stayed by the bedside and watched them die slowly with cancer, the blessing that God brought them into, if they could tell you now, you know what they would tell you? It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. The body that God gave me in exchange that would never be plagued with cancer again. If you can see me, I got it better than what you got it right now. It was worth it. And what you're facing right now, not able to find God, not able to hear God, Paul says, I reckon that the sufferings of right now is not worthy to be compared to the future glory.